Guys, it's day 53, and I am so excited to show you something. I'm going to show you this game. We're going to do something a little different today, okay? You can already tell by the board it's a little different. We're away from that green old chess.com thing. We're going to do a Lichess analysis of an over-the-board classical game that I just played tonight. I'm very excited to show you because this is the first time that I played an opponent 500 plus points higher rated than me over the board in classical chess. So let's get started. I have my game here. And even though I just played it, I still want to make sure I'm getting the moves right. So I'm gonna be looking at my score sheet. All right. How I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna first show you the game and analyze it for you verbally and tell you what I was thinking at each point. And then I'm going to turn the engine on and see how wrong I am, right? Maybe it was actually, I was completely wrong, but I think that's interesting. First to get my take on it and then to get the engine take. So we have a Sicilian on the board, e4, c5. Immediately, we start going into book, right? Knight f3, knight c6. We're just blitzing out the moves, the open Sicilian on the board. These moves are played in like 10 seconds. Super fast. He plays here. His fourth move, he goes g6. At which point I'm kind of like, oh. I'm like, okay. He's going for the accelerated dragon, which I paused for the first time for a few seconds thinking, accelerated dragon, what do I want? Of course, I want c4, the Maraxi bind. He continues blitzing out the moves. I continue blitzing out the moves. This is attack twice, so we protect him. All standard stuff. He develops a knight. I develop my knight, protecting this guy. This was hang. Lichess has such a cleaner look than chess.com. Someone was trying to get me to change my board and theme. And I was kind of like, yo, I know it looks nasty, but I'm attached to my chess.com. Lichess is clean and sleek, but chess.com, the green pieces just feel like home to me. So you know what? I'm going to stick with that for now, unless you guys have an uproar telling me to change, but whatever. Okay, so knight c3 played. He castles. I start thinking here, I think this or this, but I'm pretty sure because I've actually looked at the accelerated dragon, and I play bishop e2. Here he goes d6. Okay, so pretty standard Sicilian stuff. I castle too. Bishop e2, or wait, hold on. I castle. Bishop d7. Yeah. So I was reading the wrong. Bishop e2 is this move. Bishop d7 was played. And this is the first time I start thinking for over a minute. So these moves, these first 9 moves are blitz out. I think we each had the time control is 1 hour and 30 minutes, I believe. Was it that long? Holy F. I really just played a chess game for a very long time. Okay, so 1 hour and 30 minutes with 5-second delay. Okay, so 90 minutes plus 5-second delay. So I think at this point we each still had pretty much the full time. But here I start thinking because I'm not sure, do I want to protect this? Do I want to do this? I feel like either pawn push is not necessary at this moment. I was thinking developing the rook. I was thinking maybe a4 to prevent their counterplay. But a4 immediately weakens the square, the b4 square. So I was thinking the plus and minuses of that, weakening the square versus preventing them from ever pushing b5 themselves. I was thinking maybe rook to b1 to prepare b4 so that I can start a whole queenside expansion going on, pushing this knight out of the way. I was basically thinking about a bunch of things. But eventually I settle on rook c1. At this point, my opponent has enough. Or he does, I don't know. He blitz out this move as well. He just takes my knight. I take back. Standard, I'm gonna take back, and I don't want my queen on this square. I don't want my queen on d4 because this bishop will target it, and then just be like, okay, why did I move my queen to such a vulnerable square? So I take. He goes bishop c6, taking the spot where the knight vacated. So that was his plan possibly, and now 2 guys are attacking my pawn. I mean, he's making some pretty basic threats for someone very high rated, maybe hoping that I just drop a pawn, but I'm like, no, sir, I see your attack. I'm gonna just protect it with f3. This is pretty standard in the accelerated dragon as well. this setup, you know, just having are these called Carlsbad pawns as well? Oh my god, these Korean circles are so much fun to draw. So basically just blocking that bishop and asking him, what is he doing there? So f3 and now a5. As foreseen, he plays a5. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, do I block? Do I go here again? But I don't think so. Here I spent some time too. I'm just questioning what to do. Actually, I think I was debating a lot whether or not to go knight d5 here, because knight d5. So here, because of the Meraxi bind, the whole point of playing this structure c4 and e4, this is called a Meraxi bind, and it's used against mainly the accelerated dragon. The dragon is where he puts his bishop on g7. So I'm talking like I know what I'm doing, but I know only very basic theory, of course, but just for perhaps like less advanced players who don't really know what this opening is and what I'm saying. So basically the Meraxi bind is basically trying to get more space. So we have a lot more space. Our pieces have more space. So in general, we have more space. We don't want to trade pieces. So I was thinking like knight d5, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to trade pieces, because even if he takes and I take back with the pawn, the bishop is pushed away. But I was like, I don't know. I wasn't sure. Another move I was considering was knight b5, potentially going somewhere. You know how I love my sexy knights. I want to go somewhere. Another move I was considering was knight a4. Now I'm going somewhere, potentially jumping to b6. This move I thought about a while, but I saw the point of this doesn't work, because knight a4, bishop b6 would lose to bishop takes a4. And I calculated this through, and even though it's like take, because my bishop is there taking the queen, take. At the end, I'm just down a piece, and probably more at the end of this whole thing. Just at least just basically down a piece. So I was like, I can't drop a piece like that. So basically calculating a bunch of things, but eventually I just decide, okay, you know what? In the Meraxi bind, like when I have more space, I just want to continue restricting and grinding away slowly keeping up the pressure. I don't need to trade anything. I don't need to do anything crazy. I just need to keep up the pressure. So I thought about this for a while, and I go queen d2. He doesn't think very long either. He just goes knight d7. Maybe he thought a little bit, but by now I'm already down on time, at least 10 minutes. I think he like sends us like, okay, he wants to trade off. Like he already sends us he has less space. Like just look how cramped his position is. Look how open I am. He wants to trade everything off and hopefully make his life easier. So, but he's playing very fast. Like he knows exactly what he's doing. So I'm just like, okay. I'm like thinking, okay, even if we trade off and we enter an endgame and we somehow draw this, I was like, since he's so much higher rated, I'd be happy with a draw. So I'm like, okay. Like, because I don't know where else to put this bishop. Like, if I save the bishop, I just grant him this great diagonal, and I need to contest the diagonal. So I don't mind if we trade the bishop. Even if we're trading pieces, I was like, I don't mind. I just need to develop the rest of my pieces. This is a great square for my rook. My rooks are beautiful. My pieces are beautiful. Honey, beautiful. He activates, here he thinks about for a while, and he goes knight c5. Because I think he senses a problem now. He senses he has less space. He doesn't know what to do. But eventually goes knight c5, which is a good square for his knight. Even though it's not doing much at the moment, at least it's trying to activate itself. So here I think about for a while. As usual, I think I'm just spending time with every move. I'm still thinking knight d5, knight b5. I'm thinking his idea is maybe he wants to trade my knight. Maybe he wants to go here and make a knight trade. I don't know. Maybe he's planning on taking my bishop, but none of these are really threats. I think I cover everything. I don't really want to trade knights. So hold up. Knight. Okay, so here I go knight b5. Because I'm thinking if he takes, even though my pawns are a little messed up, I planted my rook here for a reason. I own this file. Even if we trade, I still own the file for now. And I mean, my pawns are a little weird, but I have the bishops, or I have one bishop versus a knight. And I feel like if this opens up in the endgame, if I have a bishop, that's good. I don't know. I just felt like knight b5 was okay. Because also I was thinking if he trades here, then knight takes on d4 is pretty sexy as well. Targeting the bishop. Also, it's just a nice square for my knight. So I was thinking like, okay, knight b5. Although I'm not really sure about that move, honestly. Like, I'm not actually sure. So here he spends his first time really thinking in the game. Like, I think here he spent more than 1 minute thinking. Before, he didn't spend really more than a minute. He actually thinks about this for a while. And then eventually he does bishop takes. So I take back ASAP. I didn't even calculate doing anything else. I just take back ASAP. Because I don't really want to take. Because the idea is that... Actually, wait, what was I thinking? Yeah, because my queen would love to be here. So it's like, no need to like, no need to take their bishop. We can just take back and get a better position. Okay, I take back immediately. He goes b6. Just further solidifying this knight. Because I guess this is good because I was considering after I taking this knight and then taking this pawn. Like weakening the structure so that I could threaten to take this. Right? Take. At the end, I win a pawn. Do I? I guess he wins a pawn back. So I don't really win a pawn, but I guess he was just trying to solidify the knight there in case I took. Because I was thinking about taking. I did consider taking, but every time I considered it, I was like, hell no, I can't trade off this bishop for this knight because this diagonal is their most powerful piece in this friggin' dragon. Like in the dragon, their bishop, I always want to trade it off, or like no one wants to take their knight and give them this bishop. In my opinion, I was like, I can't do that, even though I thought about it. Okay, cool. So he plays b6. At this point, I start thinking again. I enter think again because now I'm considering my options. So I said no to the knight taking. I considered pushing a3, wanting to kick the knight away because there's only two pieces that are really active here. One is the bishop, one is the knight. So I think about it for a while, and eventually I decided to take the bishop. Why? Because I calculate that king takes. I activate my queen to a good square, and now I start planning the push. I start planning kicking this knight away and just basically putting my queen up into a nice place. I think it's safe. I also calculate that it's safe because if he tries to push me away, this d6 pawn is a huge weakness. So he can't ever really challenge my queen. And I just I felt good about it because his king also is kind of loose up in here. And if I take away that bishop, then basically I felt like I was taking away his biggest asset and a good defender. So I go there, take, check. F6 was played. F6. I'm not sure about this move. I don't know if at the moment I was like, oh man, F6 was played. But I also sensed that just looking at the board, it became quite obvious at a certain point that his light squares are weak as hell. And who has a light square bishop and who doesn't? Me, baby. I have a light square bishop. So immediately I started seeing these empty weaknesses and I'm like, time to activate my bishop. All right, I wrote bd4, but that's obviously wrong. It's bc4. I immediately activate that bishop. I don't spend very long on that. He goes queen d7. Queen d7, I didn't really see the point. I'm trying to train myself to always look out for my opponent's counterplay. So I was like thinking, what is he trying to do here? I don't really see the point. I think the idea is to move his knight here, threatening my queen. And he's protecting that square. Or preparing the push. Actually, he can't push because his pawn is hanging. So I didn't really see the point because I control all of this. So maybe the idea was to kick my queen away. And maybe the idea is also to take this pawn if my bishop moves. However, I think about it for a while because I think he senses I want to put my bishop here. I don't know if he saw this, but I calculate this out. And I'm like, this works because I put my bishop here. d5, beautiful square. I target the rook. If he takes this pawn, I take the rook, and I think I'm pretty happy with that result. Like, really, it's only like 1 point down in material for him, but I feel pretty good about it. Like, I'd feel pretty good about it. I still have more space. This knight still is not doing much. And if anything, I can just, protect everything. So yeah, basically I felt good about this. I felt good. I felt good putting my bishop here. And that's exactly what I do. Bishop d5. I think about this for a while because I'm thinking like, what threats does he have? Blah, blah. trying to think of threats. But honestly, I felt just this was a great move. And this is what I was calculating. I was calculating if he pushes now, because the one downside of putting my bishop on d5, preparing to put him here, the one downside of this is that it cuts off the contact of my battery with d6. So what this allows him to do is start pushing e6 on me. And then I was thinking, is that a problem? However, I calculated that's not a problem because, hold on, was that what I was thinking? Oh no, what I was thinking was they can push their pawn, not attacking my bishop because that'd be dumb. I take the rook. But I was calculating, what if they attack my queen now with e5? Because before, if they push e5, remember what I said, if they push e5, I take d6, simply I win a pawn. But now if I block off d6 with my bishop, now if they push, then my queen has a retreat. So I was thinking about this for a while, and I was thinking, is that a problem? But I was thinking, no, it's not a problem, because then I can just move my queen out of the way, and then I have like this nice battery, and I could also potentially open up this file with this queen in the way of this rook, this x-ray. So I was thinking things tactically probably are good for me, and they probably don't want to weaken up their whole structure, their whole king side, and their queen with this push. So I calculate that out. I go here eventually. Oof, a lot of talking. Bishop d5 played. I don't think he's thought about this long enough. Maybe he's already just like, I don't know how big of an advantage I have. I definitely feel like I have an advantage here. Just look at the position. Like, I think my pieces are dominating spatially. That's a problem with playing the accelerated dragon, is like, you're going to be cramped. So he goes here. And I think this is actually the start of a lot of his problems. Or maybe not the start. Maybe it's already pretty bad. But I don't know about this move. Okay, rook a7. I don't know what else you could do. I do this pretty fast. But I was still thinking like, okay, what could my opponent do? He thinks for a long time here. He actually spends a long time thinking here. What I was thinking that he would do is maybe put his queen here. I don't know. At which point I was thinking, am I going to draw this game by moving my bishop back and forth? And their queen goes back and forth. I was like, is this a way to force a draw? But he goes queen c8 instead. And here I think about for a very, very long time. I think here I'm already down by 20 minutes. I start thinking for a while. And while I think, I'm going to have you think too. What am I going to play as my next move? Well, I take a water break. So even though white looks visually appealing, it's not actually easy knowing what to do. Right, here I calculate for a very, very long time. Do you see my two candidate moves? I'm going to tell you what my candidate moves are. First, you tell me what your candidate moves are. I'm going to give you 2 seconds. Okay. My candidate moves are in this position. I was thinking one idea is to push this knight away. Because this knight now, after the bishop is removed, this knight is our most active and powerful piece. Everything else is really dumb. Like, everything else is really not great right now. So it's like, I want to push this knight away. That's one plan. One plan I have is pushing the knight. And I considered their knight maneuvering to get rid of my bishop. I thought about that, and I determined that if that should ever happen, if that's ever the case where the knight can take my bishop, I'll let him take it, and then I have a nice passer on the c-file. I have a thorn in their side. I'm going to double up, I'm going to triple up on the c-file and ask them questions. Like, just make them worry about this pawn. I don't know if that was the right idea, but in my mind I was like, knight takes is not that big of a problem because I then have a passer. I think, yeah. So one was to kick the knight away. Another idea I had was pushing f4. I'm very concerned about the safety of my king, but here they don't attack me with anything, and this is okay because I don't have a dark sword bishop. I was like, it's okay. However, I was like calculating this through, and the problem with f4 is it weakens what square? It weakens this square. I was like wondering if the queen comes here. I was just thinking about counterplay. In my mind, it's okay because this queen is defended. So the point of pushing f4 is, of course, to break open with e5. But I was trying to calculate this, but I was thinking if I let the queen get here, maybe it's just too active at that point. Maybe it's a little scary because if takes, and I take check, even with check, and I come back or something. I was afraid. I was just calculating some lines. I was afraid of a potential if this knight. Hold on. Was I getting too crazy? Because my rook controls this too. I was just thinking maybe I got a little crazy. But I was thinking in the future, in some world where their knight could team up with the queen against my king, and I have to worry about some kind of mating idea they have or something. If this file opens up, and if this file opens up, if I push f4, e5, I open up this file for their rook. Their queen is here, and now I have to worry about getting at least checked or something. Oops, that's not what I played. Let's delete that move. So basically, yeah, so this is what was going on in my brain. f4 versus a3. Now you tell me what your move would be. I don't think I really looked at other moves. Did I think about queen? No, I didn't. I don't think I really looked at other moves. Or I think these are the main two big ideas I had. One is to break open the king. One is to kick away the knight. So, and then I decided a3 after a very long think. Immediately after I play a3, like the second my hand goes a3, I'm like, oh, f. I'm like, f, did I just miss a fork? You would think after spending so long calculating this variation, I would like see that fork immediately. And let me tell you what I was thinking. I was calculating a lot of stuff, like them pushing the pawn, pushing up here, them en passanting me, but then the knight protects it. So I was thinking then my queen has to, like, after I push this and they go here and they go a4, then my queen has to drop back to c3, so that preparing to push, so that when they en passant me, I guess I still can't take it because I don't know what I was thinking. I was calculating some variation where I had to deal with en passant. I think I still wanted my queen on this diagonal eyeing the king. I also like this pressure on this file. But I was also wanting to push a knight, but also saying that they could play a4 here. So all of that was going through my mind. But somehow I like don't even see this. But the minute I'm like freaking out, I'm like, oh I'm like, f, did I just blunder a freaking fork? And I'm like, oh my god, what is my life? I played such a good game up to this point. Like I was so proud of myself, and now I blunder a fork. I was trying to console myself. I was thinking, even if I'm down in exchange, I think I'm still winning just because of how powerful this bishop is and how loose this king is. Although maybe it's just the draw at that point. I don't know. I was like, if we take, maybe there's some tactics. I don't know. I was trying to console myself, but immediately I'm like, wait a minute. That's okay. I'm just being very honest. Like, I'm like, not like, I'm like, oh, this is brilliant. I solved this. No, I was like, like, did I mess up? But actually, no, this fails. Tell me why this fails. Tell me why this fork fails. Boom, baby. If this knight ever leaves, maybe subconsciously in my mind, I thought of this because a few moves ago I was looking at this. A few moves ago I was thinking, if the knight moves, my queen takes this pawn. So maybe that's why here in this precise position I wasn't calculating this move out, because my mind maybe already like saw that this knight can't move right now because this pawn is hanging. So I'm just trying to justify, rationalize perhaps maybe why, but the honest truth is I don't think I saw this. But now I sense if knight ever tries to fork me, I take this, and then what happens? And then he's lost because he takes, I take the rook. Boom, this is hang, this knight is hang. He's gonna lose something, and I think he's gonna lose big. Once this pawn falls, this will fall, everything will fall. So he can't let me do this. So he sees us as a very strong player. He sees this, and actually it'd be nice if I actually tricked him to do that. He sees us and he goes b8. So once queen b8 is played, I know immediately that this fork is now in play again, because after he forks, I can no longer take. So now I'm thinking, okay, now I have to get out of the way. Originally my go-to square was here. No. My original go-to square was queen c3, because I wanted to either diagonal, I wanted to prepare the push and prevent the en passant idea, right? But I'm thinking that, but I'm like, meh, this is just like kind of a little more passive. I still like my queen on this file. I like my queen here. I don't really want to move it. I move it up to queen d5 instead. Why? Because because now I kind of want to go to my other plan. Now I think I want to push open. And I just want to keep the threat up of, if they ever go here on me, I can still take this pawn. So they have to like really worry about it. Okay, now a4 is played. They prevent me from kicking the knight away right now, because if I go, he en passants me and I just lose this pawn. Okay, so now I start thinking, can I do it? Can I do my great plan? Because what did the queen move do? Once the queen moved out of the way, what did it free me up to do? I no longer have to worry about queen g4. So I don't know if that was actually a great concern in the first place, but now I can push f4. And now that my queen moved out of the way, he goes back to c8. He goes back. And now I'm calculating, basically, should I push e5? I push e5 or do I block the queen? So h3 or e5. These are my two main considerations. I think about it for quite a while again. I basically been thinking this whole game like for quite a while, and I'm basically down on 20 minutes the whole time. But I think we still have about, I think I have 15 minutes or something at this point. I'm not sure. I don't think I wrote it down right here. Yeah, I think I still have probably less than an hour, but still have plenty of time that it wasn't freaking out because of time. I was like, that's enough. I can really take my time to think. And that's a joy of playing classical chess. It's like, honestly, I still get in time pressure sometimes, but it's just such a joy to be able to let yourself really calculate out everything you want to think about. Like every single crazy move like you want to think about, you have time to think about if you know how to use your time. So here I'm calculating and I decide, let's just be extra solid. Like I want to be so prophylactic. I want to be so squeezing them, giving them no counterplay because they can't do anything. That's the thing. They're still frozen. This queen move honestly did not do much. They're still frozen. Like my pawn pushing will still happen. It's still going to happen. I'm going to push h3. I just want to block off any counterplay. I don't want their queen ever to get up of my space. The problem with h3 that I was worried about is I sense immediate reply rook d8, which I was worrying if that was a problem because now they can push this pawn e6 and then now I wouldn't be able to take with my queen. So that was the whole problem that I sensed. The response to h3 is that it's slow. It's a bit slow. So if they go rook d8, now if I go e5, then there are going to be maybe some problems. Because now if he pushes e6, even if I give them a check, king takes, check, I don't know. I wasn't sure if this gave them some counterplay. They can't take with this pawn because I just take twice on d8. But I sensed this was probably maybe the best reply. Okay, now he spends a long time thinking here too. He actually spends a long time thinking. And I do wonder if rook d8. We're going to check that with engine and see if that makes any difference. But I felt like that was a good attempt. Rook d8 was probably the best attempt. But guess what move my opponent goes? He goes here. I completely did not see this move. I was considering all kinds of moves that they could make. Mostly I was calculating rook d8 in my head. I was just trying to think, what should I do in response? But he takes a really long time to think. Although I think he's still much higher up in time. He takes a while to think, but he's still higher, like has 20 extra minutes. He goes here. I never even considered this move. And then my first reaction is, oh, damn, like, do I have to trade queens? Like, I don't want to trade queens here because of his light squared weaknesses, because of everything. I know that if I trade queens, I still have a powerful bishop, but this is just not that easy to convert at this point because he can push me away. He can start pushing me away. And at that point, I just like, oh man, I just don't know. I just don't know at this point. I was calculating this, if you take with a pawn, I think that'd be extra bad because my bishop is just immobile at that point. Like, it looks good, it looks sexy, but then the position is like almost kind of closed. And I was like, in this closed position, I was actually like wandering around the tournament hall, like muttering to myself, like, no closed position. I have a bishop. I can't close. No, can't close. I can't do it. so I was like, no. So this surprises me. So I was like thinking for about a minute, and then I literally do this. Do you know what I reacted to? Do you see what I see? I was literally like this. Because I can't believe my eyes. I can't believe my eyes. What do I play? Tell me. I'm going to give you 2 seconds. Guess the move. Boom, baby. Boom, baby. Boom, baby. I am so proud of myself. Not because this is like a hard tactic or something. Like maybe some people can see it instantaneously. But to me, I was like, this is a culmination of me like training my tactical eye, doing like remove the defender puzzles. I was so proud of myself. At that point, I'm like, I'm winning. Like, this is it. This is done. I'm like, this is it. And he can't believe it. Like, this boy, I felt so bad. He couldn't believe it. He just like you could just sense his whole, already he wasn't enjoying himself in the game. Like, it was like shaking his head. He wasn't enjoying himself being squeezed. But at this move, he just, was so defeated that he literally spent 20, he like used up all his time advantage, like literally sat there for 20 minutes. And at first I was just kind of like, just politely sitting, like I thought he was going to resign, so I was just like waiting. But then like 10 minutes passed, 15 minutes passed, I was like, okay, I'm going to get up and look at other games. I'm going to walk around. And I was just thinking, is she just going to like come to the strength to resign? I was like, man, what if this boy like actually does the life equivalent of letting his time run out and just literally make us wait for 2 hours here and just or however long, like an hour and a half. I was like, man, he's gonna really make me wait this out. But yeah, he spends 20 or 30 minutes. He spends like 20 something minutes, basically use up all his time to decide that he doesn't actually want to enter this joyless endgame where only I can win. He wants to preserve some counterplay. He wants to keep fighting, basically. He has not resigned himself to death. So he retreats his queen. Spends so long thinking about it. Where should I put my rook? I don't retreat back passively. I go here, making more threats. Activating my rooks. Very powerful. Here he goes queen b8. Now he's starting to play pretty fast again because I think because he used up so much time, now we're like even on time. So maybe he's trying to like outplay me on time. So here I was thinking this, targeting this pawn. But the problem with this is like this is limiting my queen's scope, right? And the potential, because my queen is kind of trapped here. In the potential case that somehow, well, his rook can't go here. But in the potential somehow that he can like push his pawn and trap my queen, that would be really dumb. I was like, I don't even want to go there. Like, I don't know if this is a problem. I don't know. Maybe I could just take it. I don't know if in any world this would be a problem. But I was like, I want to convert this. I want to do myself good. Like, I am not going to lose this. I'm not going to blunder this away. Because that's what my opponent's hoping for. He basically thinks I'm lower rated. He's down a whole piece, but he's not going to resign because he thinks I might blunder this away. And it could happen, honestly. So he goes here. He's hoping I push. But even this is not a problem. Because if he takes, I basically take twice. He loses a rook. But this might be a little troublesome. Take. I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking. I was calculating this out. Like maybe there could be some kind of issue. I didn't think there was any problem. Like I could even push, but maybe. Well, I don't even want to go into this line. But basically, I thought I don't want to give him that counterplay that he desperately seeks. So I was calculating this line out. What if I push anyway? And I think I came to the conclusion that I'm still okay. Like it's okay to push. However, I don't even want to go there. I just want to convert this cleanly, and I think the best way to do that is trade off the pieces. So I take on a4, take up another pawn. He pushes this really aggro, very aggro on me. I'm like, okay. I'm looking at the threat. I'm like, okay. He can't take this, obviously. So he goes here. F takes. And here I think about it again. I'm like, where to? I think he's just playing for tricks at this point. He's playing for tricks. He's thinking if I move fast, like match his speed, basically, he's going to trick me and win a pawn, right? Or win a rook. He wants to basically trick me to get off of this rank so he wins a rook. Am I going to fall for that? Hell no. So after all this thinking I've been doing, hell no. So if I go here, another counterplay they have is rook. That's not really an issue either, but I don't want to give them that counterplay. This is a better square for my queen. It just targets more stuff. I'm still going to take that rook. So basically, I think I picked the best square for the queen. Do I? Hold on, where am I? Queen b4. Yeah, queen b4. At this point, he's just like, okay, fine, I'll trade. I take. He goes queen c7. I'm not sure what this is doing. Honestly, I'm not sure. But I'm just thinking where best to go. Queen b3. We're both playing relatively fast. Queen e7. Because I feel pretty confident of what I want to do. I want to start taking advantage of his light hold weaknesses. This would be a problem. If he doesn't defend, this bishop is coming. So basically, he will be in trouble. So he goes here. And here I thought he would take with the queen, but he takes with the king. So now I'm just thinking, okay, where best to check him from? Check him from here? Should I give him a check? Should I do some other stuff? I don't know. But I don't see like an immediate friggin' mate or whatever. So go queen e3, making some threats. Just making some threats. This line I calculate, queen h6 chug, it doesn't really do that much because I go here, but he can just hide out. Hold on. Can he hide out? Yeah, I think he can hide out. So I wasn't quite sure what that did, but I'm just making some threats to, yeah, make some threats. Why not? Queen d8. Queen f2 check, keeping up the threats. Keeping up the threats. Queen g7 or king g7. Bishop d5. Now, this is a threat. These two are the threats. How to defend both with the queen. He immediately goes here without even thinking that much. He's a strong player. I mean, he sees both threats and deals with both. While getting his queen onto an active file. So I'm thinking, like, should I make my own threats? I was calculating this move, queen g3. So kudos to my opponent. I mean, even though it was kind of annoying to me that he didn't resign, I understand why he's doing it, because if he has counterplay, like, I might blunder something. Like, it's very possible that I will blunder something. So he's basically trying to test me if I have the patience and alertness. Can't really think right now. To convert this. So which move am I on? I calculate this. I don't want his queen to come up here. I just don't want it to happen. I don't want him to take my pawns. I don't want no chucks. I don't want him to even get in my space. What do? I block it. I block him off from this entire file, from coming down. Queen d2. He goes queen c5. I admit I missed this. I missed this move completely. Now he takes my pawn. So I'm thinking, like, okay. So he basically takes my pawn. I move my king up. So immediately I'm like thinking, okay, maybe on the last move I didn't need to move my queen there. Maybe I could have just moved my king up and then just like prevented any of that from happening. So immediately when he gives me the chug, I'm like, okay, fine. I should have gone king h2 instead. Maybe queen d2 is too fancy. But yeah, I missed this. What was I gonna say? I forgot what I was going to say. So here he thinks for a while, because I was like, this is still okay, because if he takes a pawn, now I'm thinking this is my counterplay. But I was calculating this out as he was thinking, like, if he takes a pawn, I take, but then he can get active on me. Like, if he starts coming down here, for some reason I saw that he was on a different square, and I was thinking, oh shit, is he trying to perpet me? Like, I was thinking, like, oh man, he's going to try to perpet me. I was like, I don't want that. I just don't want that. So I don't know actually if I should put my queen here. Because the idea is, even if he takes a pawn, I go here. He doesn't trade. He goes here or something. If I take any of these pawns, it might not actually be safe for me, because then he can come in and give me chucks. So I was calculating this out. He calculates this. He takes the pawn. He goes for the pawn. Why not take the pawn? I think he still lost, but he takes the pawn. So in here I'm calculating this because I'm like, I don't want to give them any counterplay, but I'm calculating this out. And I feel like I'm in time. I feel like I'm okay. Because he's going to need some time to make these threats. I was basically calculating this line where somehow he gives me a chuck. But after I take this, I can block it. So basically the line goes, go here. He goes here. I take the pawn. He chucks me. I come down. He chucks me. Ooh, he chucks me. Ooh. He chucks me. My queen is there. I block with a queen, and he starts eating up all my pawns. And now I'm seeing things. I'm seeing that my queen is on this file and somehow can go in. But then I'm like, oh wait, my queen is here. So I don't know. I just go up here anyway. Eventually I decide to go queen b4 anyway, because I feel like if he comes down or does something, I can always swing here. I think I can still block it. But anyway, I knew that this was maybe a little risky, because maybe it gives them some counterplay. He goes here, going for that perpet idea. I think about this for a while. I really think about this, because I'm calculating basically all the variations where I can take one of these pawns and see if I can get away with it. The answer I came to after doing all those variations basically the line I just showed you is that I can't get away with it, or it's just too unnecessary because he starts taking my pawns and giving me chucks. I was like, I don't want him to give me a single effing chuck, man. I don't want a single chuck. Let's just block that chuck. No chuck. He's like, oh man, what am I doing here? So if he stayed here, if he moved some random move like with his king or the pawn, my next move would be to move my king to g3 and then get a trade. At which point I think his queen is pretty hopeless, because then I'm coming in. Then my queen is coming in, and basically he'd be forced to trade off. Oops, that's not what happened. Let's go back. So at this point, he knows that he has to move. So he goes queen f6. Queen f6. I go, where do I go? I want to trade this off. I go queen e3, planning this, still making threats, still keeping up the threats while trying to trade. He goes h5. So I think just pretty desperate at this point. I don't know what he's hoping for, but I don't think any of this is a problem for me. Maybe just hoping I'm going to hang something. So I'm like, okay, fine. You go there. I was considering doing this. But I'm just like, you know what? I have these passers. Let me push him, baby. He goes, I write h5, but obviously we just played h5, so it's h4. He played h4. And I think he's hoping if I move my queen, then he's going to come in and give me a big old check. Big old checkmate time. If he's hoping I snag the pawn and he comes in, gives me a big old check, I don't know what this does. I guess it just perpetuates. It's still a perpet. It's not me. It's just perpet. I didn't do this for a perpet, baby. I didn't do this for no perpet. Come on. It's been like freaking 2 hours, 2-something hours. I played all these amazing moves. I'm going to perpet you? No way. Okay, he goes here. Queen e7. Doesn't want to trade. Still controlling the square. I push a4 now. These passers are hungry for some action. He was queen a7. At this point, I don't think I think about it too long. I'm pretty proud of this. I come to the great decision. What do? Trade it, baby. And here he's like thinking about a while. I think he knows it's like done for, but he's like taking his time. King takes. All right, a5 time. a5. B takes. I'm pushing d5. I take. He push. e4. e4 on the board. It's been how many? 51 moves. Good. We're on track. 51 moves. He goes here. Now I'm counting. I calculate, okay, I'm in the square, right? I don't want to blunder this. I seriously don't, but I'm in the square, so I calculate even if he goes down here, I'm still in time. Now he's like, but he's still playing. He's still playing. King f2, and that's when my poor opponent, he drops his king. So he resigns here, finally. And I feel pretty bad because he starts crying. Like he looks away, but like he's like crying now. So I feel pretty bad. But I walk away from the board, and then I can't. Actually, I think even a few moves before this, I couldn't resist. Like, I was trying not to be too happy about it because I was like, anything could happen. I was already thinking in my mind, oh my god, I want to share this with you guys. I want to share it with my viewers. I can't wait to share it. But I was like, okay, calm down. You must focus on the game. You must focus. Anything could happen. You can still blunder. You need to focus. You need to convert this. So I'm really, really proud of myself. This is the cleanest, the best game I've played so far over the board, I gotta say. From start to finish, I think it was pretty effing clean. From the opening, squeezing them, positionally squeezing, positionally winning, biding my time, making smart moves, finding some cool tactics, making good decisions, until playing very solidly and prophylactically, until finally they blunder, I pounce. I see the blunder, I pounce, converting into a completely won middle game. And then having the patience, perseverance to persist and slowly convert that and not get cocky, not giving them an ounce of counterplay and just converting that. I am very proud of this. Sorry if I'm bragging, but I was very, very happy. Ready to turn the engine on. Did I really talk for 44 minutes about this game I just played? I mean, you guys could watch a Grandmaster game. It'd be probably much better. But why did I talk for 44 minutes? All right, ready for engine time? Let's do it. Let's do engine time. Hold on. How do I do how do I not only do the engine but also have them give me the analysis like on chess.com? I want them to give me the analysis. Can I do that here? I can, right? I don't know. Let me see if I can figure it out. But there's a way to do that. I can't figure it out right now. We're gonna transition to review mode. Okay. Let's see. That's all very standard. We were blitzing out the opening. Very standard stuff. Here, yeah, queen d2 immediately. Or even putting my knight away. They want my knight back to not even trade. Let's just see where this goes. Just prophylactically. Just all prophylactic moves. And then start pushing, preparing e5 already. So this is where this line goes. White has just a minor edge the whole way through, just because this has space advantage. Okay, so he immediately, yeah, he takes advantage of the fact that I didn't retreat my knight, and he takes. Let's see this through. Instead of going bishop there, where should he have gone? Should target my rook. Okay, f3. I want to do the engine analysis. How do I do that? Oh man, I hope I don't waste a minute just like trying to figure this out. Normally they have an option where I can friggin' analyze like the whole game. Alright, whatever. So by here we're kind of just equal, very equal. Okay, so here it actually wants me to take that bishop first. So here's the move that I spent no time on. I just took back ASAP. They want me to take the bishop. Now they don't want me to take the bishop. They want me to retreat. I decided to take the bishop. Already the engine senses a late square weakness. Here, not even put the bishop. Huh, interesting. It doesn't even go for the moves that I want. Or that I like. Yeah, see, that move, I was thinking queen e6 instead. Just because I'm not really sure about the queen being back like that. Oh yeah, a3 was a good move, yay. Oh, very interesting. Queen e3. I don't think about that. I would feel so passive putting my queen at e3. Rook, I thought of this, preparing the en passant. The rook is better here. You could also... The problem with rook c3 is I considered this. Well, no, they can't do that now because my queen will take. Okay, so I considered rook c3 in another line where they en passant me, but I guess it's better to prepare that. I go here. So f4 is not actually one of the friggin' engine suggestions. I'm just gonna let it run. I don't think it's one of the suggestions. Man, I would really love to have the computer friggin' analyze this. Yay, I lost my h3 move too. Yep, this is the final mistake. Here, I feel like I had an advantage, just an edge. But 0.6 is so minor, actually. It's not even that big of a deal. This move that they like, f4, they push f5. Yeah, I thought of this just immediately. I just feel like this may open their king up. Huh, interesting. Cute. Very cute. But honestly, Engine's not impressed. It says we're just even here. Like, it looks like white has so much space, blah, blah. Engine's just not impressed. Now we're just repeating. So I'm so happy I find this. Wants my king to start marching up the board. No thanks. Weird decisions. Oh, of course. I should have seen this. This actually comes with a check. For some reason, I didn't see this. Ah, that would have been nice. Why did I have to do this? This comes with a check. Why did I go there? That's a more forcing move. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like this better. For sure. If anything, it's just like more powerful. It's like, I'm gonna give you a forcing move. Okay. Yep, so now I'm just completely winning. Yeah, it really wants me to start pushing my pawns. Like, enough of this dancing around thing. Yeah, Engine likes king h2 the best. Straight away, no counterplay. Also, or just protecting the pawn. I thought about it, but I thought it was fancy by preventing the queen from coming in. I missed this check. Should have thought about that. Okay, I should just go up there and their space. Yeah. I don't know why I made it so difficult. I should be making my own threats. I guess this is fine too. I don't know why I didn't think about this. If they give me a check, I can just block it. Simple. It wants me to give up a whole pawn. It doesn't want to trade off. But I think I'm really proud of my decision. I think that's just the cleanest. It's just the cleanest. That's all she wrote. It's giving me a 97% accuracy. And I think this actually makes me really happy because this makes me really happy because my opponent didn't even play that badly. They have a 90% accuracy. So, get away. Get away. No, how do I go back? So, oh my goodness. It says I have 0 inaccuracies, 0 mistakes, 0 blunders. And freaking 97% accuracy. What can I say? I killed it. Today. All right. Thank you for letting me brag about my game. Thank you. I don't know if you enjoy that at all. I thought it was interesting because I have been tilting. Like on my normal speedrun thing, I have been tilting. Not speedrun, my ELO journey. So I'm doing really not great on that. So I actually honestly thought that today, my classical game, I might not be functioning at all. And I'm really just happy that I was able to think and actually try to calculate and really take my time. And it all paid off. Thank you so much. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow. And tomorrow, let's play some more rapid games. Bye.